Skyhawk Talk here from Snappy Tomato Pizza. Coach McNamara joins us. And, Coach, I was just talking about your soccer team. Congratulations on a win over Lipscomb.
Appreciate it.
Got the win 5-1. Tell us about that matchup.
Well, it was an important game for us because we're coming off a very bad performance and a bad result on Friday. So the girls knew how important this game was. That's the first time we've been at home for a couple of weeks. We've been on the road, which is difficult. So the girls came out and started out really well with their work ethic, and they worked right early. And I think we put Lipscomb under pressure right from the beginning of the game, and got our just rewards.
And you win that one 5-1. It seems like in soccer, as opposed to other sports, if you can strike early and score, you certainly have an advantage.
Absolutely. In the women's game in soccer, if you can get the first goal, it goes a long way for sure. And we've been a little unfortunate this year not being able to do that as often as we have wanted to. So the girls have found a little extra character yesterday and got the first goal, and unfortunately conceded, midway through the first half and kind of put her back against the wall again. But they found their composure for the first time probably this year, and they just stuck to their task and came out with a great win.
To your credit, Coach, your record is 2-4-1, but this to me it looks like one of the most challenging schedules I've seen in the history of the program.
We've had a great schedule. I'm really excited about this team and the prospects of the season. We had a fantastic year last year, of course, everyone knows that, but I actually believe this team has more potential. We're young, we're just learning how to win, and I think once we do, I think we're going to go on a run, and I really fancy our chances in the OVC, and I feel like players are starting to just find their feet a little bit at this level, and with 10 new players, so it takes a little bit of time. I think possibly the staff was a little impatient to begin with, and so we're learning quickly, and we're really excited about the performances we've had. The results have not fallen in our favour, but we have, I felt like we were the better team versus Vanderbilt for 70 minutes. I thought we should have beat Butler at Butler. I thought we were the better team against Mississippi State in the first half and leading 1-0, and just couldn't close the door on Mississippi State on the road. So they're big schools with fully funded and all the support in the world, and UT Martin's going in there and holding their own with those programs. So although the record is not fantastic, this time last year we were sitting 5-1 and rolling off that confidence. This year we've had a much stronger schedule. We've been in fantastic games. The game at Purdue, and they just tied the West Virginia, who's a top 10 nationally ranked program, this past weekend. So that gives you an idea of the magnitude of the teams that we've played to this point, and it's only going to make us better long haul.
Yeah, when I look at your schedule, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, Mississippi Valley State, Purdue, Butler, Arkansas State, and now Lipscomb, it certainly prepares you for the Ohio Valley Conference schedule.
Well, that's what we wanted. I think sometimes once you've become champions and you've been in the NCAA tournament, the following season is a much more difficult season because you've got a target on your back, and also the players might feel like they've arrived already and they don't have to work as hard. So we set a schedule up to make it very difficult for the girls, and a rude awakening maybe for some of our new players, and throw them in at the deep end early, and I see how good we are before it really matters, within the OVC conference games.
Coach, a lot of our listeners are probably familiar with Butler because they've done so well in college basketball, men's college basketball. I had a chance to go there. It's in Indianapolis, correct?
Yes. Yeah. We were up there for the weekend, and we played Purdue on the Friday night, and we lost that game 2-0. Purdue scored 2 in the first 15 minutes, and at that stage it could have went either way. We could have lost that game 6 or 7 if we weren't careful. But instead, the girls really dug in deep and worked really hard, and we actually played as well as Purdue did for the remainder of the game, and actually had a few chances ourselves. So I'm very encouraged with the group we've got. I think we've got some magnificent new players. Jacqueline Heckles come in as a freshman. I think she was our only player that played 90 minutes yesterday, and has anchored the centre of the defence. We've got Melissa Erturk coming in, transferred in from MTSU, is settling in the midfield. Ashley Revez has scored 2 goals already. Ashley Watson scored a goal already. And then, of course, our senior Kendall Wilson has probably scored more goals already than any other season, so she's off to a flyer, and we're delighted for Kendall.
Ryan Rickman helped me prepare to talk about Kendall. 11 points, ranks first in the Ohio Valley Conference so far. One of 2 seniors on the team, a 4-year starter, and has really stepped it up this senior season.
Well, Kendall's a sweetheart first and foremost. She's a great kid and great personality, and all the potential in the world. One of the quickest players that that we'll be associated with here at UT Martin, and just has had to mature a little bit with her finishing, and she is regarded as a forward now, and she's getting the goals that she deserves now. So we're delighted with Kendall so far.
I know it's tough to compare you to other Ohio Valley Conference teams because you're not playing each other right now. You're in a non-conference schedule, but at this point, you're first in shots on goal, in points, goals per game, and also assists. So you're getting things done offensively.
I guess you've got more statistics there than I have. So
this is our man Ryan Rickman supplying us with the information.
I'll take all the props we can get and all the confidence in the world. So no, I think we're the team to beat. I really do. I think our schedule, along with probably SEMO, has had the most difficult schedule, and probably our record reflects that. We could have set up a schedule no problem. With the talent that we have right now, we could be sitting, 5-1, 6-1, if we wanted to. But we're not afraid to lose a couple of games, in the preparation to the OVC season, and play against opponents that are better than us and should be better than us, and put our kids up against that level and see how we do early season, and hopefully if we get it, make it to the OVC tournament again, and thereafter we'll be a little better prepared for doing well in those games. So, but we've had some other great performances so far. Hannah McGowan has been playing lights out the first few games, and probably our most consistent player has been Dominica Conk. Dominica had a up and down season as a freshman last year as an international student, which sometimes it just takes time for them to get adjusted to the speed of play and the physicality of the game here in the United States. So
it's more physical in the United States than it is?
Well, it is, because it's more athletic.
Yeah.
So, Dominica is a very technical player, a very smart player, very good at distributing and finding passes, and so she's had to deal with the rumble and tumble and athletic being, hustled and bustled off the ball a little bit. So she's got stronger, she's worked harder, and I think she's had a fantastic season so far, so we're excited about Dominica.
Help me here in some of our local soccer fans. We see your match at Butler ties with no score. What are the rules?
Well, we played the 90 minutes, unfortunately, without a goal either side, and the rain was coming down heavy all day.
Okay.
But we really had the possession for the duration of the game, and we hit the post, we hit the crossbar, and we just couldn't score. But then we played 2 10-minute golden goal halves, and so whichever team scores first would win the game at that point. Neither team scored, so we both go home with a tie. We don't go into PKs because it's not a tournament game.
But if it were a tournament game, you would have the PK shootout?
That's correct.
Right, and then each team gets five
shots each, and then at that point it would go to the sudden death.
Speaking of that, did you pay much attention to our women's soccer team in the Olympics? Well, when I say ours, I mean the United States.
Yes, the USA, yes. Yeah, no, I did. Honestly, I thought the U.S. did an exceptionally good job. I thought there were some great games out there, and I thought Germany were an excellent team to watch. I thought France were fantastic, and probably a little more flair to the U.S. team, but again, just the athletic ability and the rotations, the depth of the squad, and the other countries are still trying to catch up with the magnitude of the college soccer that we have here. And it's such a, it's like having 5 to 10 leagues in their countries, where they might only have one league. So we definitely have the advantage on the numbers, and so the US should be successful. But I think the other countries are catching up on their athletic ability, and maybe even a little ahead on the technique. So
now, are you talking about women's soccer specifically?
This is specifically women's soccer.
When will the men's teams, and will they ever catch up with some of the other European countries?
Oh, the men will, for sure. Jürgen Klinsmann's the head coach now of the men's program, and of course he was a German international, German head coach, and he'll do a fantastic job with the men's side for sure. And again, it's a numbers game, and the U.S. men's team have got so many more players playing in Europe now and getting that experience, and they for a young national team, they've actually done very well over the years in the major tournaments. So, will they ever win it? Not possibly in my time, but England's brought the game to the world and have only won the World Cup one time. So,
right. What is better, the World Cup or to win the Olympics? And explain why to our listeners.
Well, the World Cup is the greatest,
by far,
the greatest soccer event on the earth. There's no question. And now the Olympics, for a lot of people, will come in a close second. So they're both great events, and we've been spoiled this summer, haven't we? We had the European Championships for soccer. The month of June, there was 2 games every day on ESPN, and then we had the Olympics. And I thought London did a fantastic job with the Olympics. They really did.
Coach, let's look at your schedule as we go ahead. You are going to go down to Georgia. You'll take on Georgia State on Friday, and then Kennesaw State, the opponent, Sunday. And then finally you move into conference play. So 2 more non-conference games left and then conference play.
That's correct. We leave Thursday again for another long road trip, and Georgia State Friday night will be a very competitive match.
That's in Atlanta, is that right?
Yes, okay. Atlanta this weekend, and so we were fortunate to beat Georgia State last year 2-0 at home, so it's the return game of that. So they're going to be fired up. I know they didn't enjoy that loss last year, and so they've got a new coach, and they're working very hard right now. Had a good win on Friday night against Mercer, and then on Sunday we have a fantastic facility. We're playing in the Kennesaw Stadium. It sits 12,000.
Wow!
It's a 12,000 seated stadium for women's soccer, and that's where we had the Division I semi-finals and final last year. So that's going to be another great experience for our girls, and one that they can put on the resume for the rest of their lives.
I truly believe if you make it through the non-conference schedule, your team is on a bus together, they're eating all their meals together, they're staying in the rooms together. It's a bonding experience that will benefit your team later in the season.
Without question. We've had a hard, road trip for sure the last few weeks, but we're hoping that it's going to stand to the kids, when it really matters. And like I said, I'm really excited about our potential that we have this year. We've I feel like last year we relied on 2 or 3 players to really drive this team on, and Rosa was our goal scorer, and whereas this year I think it's more difficult for our opponents to actually zone in on one player. It's going to be a balance of several goals from different areas, and the midfielders are more than capable of scoring goals, just as the forwards are. So we've got to just we're young. We don't have the leadership we had last year, and but we've got a lot of talent, and if we can turn the corner here, I'm really excited for the OVC season.
Coach, we look forward to seeing you. The next home contest will be against Austin Peay Friday, September 28th. Thank you so much for coming by. Best of luck, and we'll have you on a little later this season.
All right, sounds good.
Coach McNamara, we'll come back with Director of Athletics Phil Dane in just a moment as we talk live from Snappy Tomato Pizza. Come out and see us. Skyhawk Talk continues on the University of Tennessee at Martin Skyhawk Sports Network.